Hi, welcome back. I'm your host, David Mulligan. This is the Writer's Block on Virtual Channel Network. In this show series, we are going through the idea of, so you want to become a screenwriter. So you're a novice screenwriter and you're saying to yourself, what do I got to do to become a screenwriter? Do I have to move to Hollywood? Do I have to know someone in the industry? That sort of stuff. And that's what this series is for. Now, what we're going to go over today is we're going to go over the words on the page. One of the most important things when it comes to screenwriting is to be an actual good writer. A lot of writers think that they have an idea for a story and they just type it out. They just type it out as they think it, and they don't think anything of sentence structure. They'll write very simply. He gets into his car. He gets out of his car. He walks down the block. He buys a newspaper. Blah, 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 blah. No good. No good. Especially in this day and age when scripts are very easy to write and print out and get out. This is not the kind of thing where, you have to labor with a typewriter. It's a different time. And with a different time comes a lot of competition. And a lot of competition from a lot of bad scripts. So if you want to become a writer, a screenwriter, and you want good words on the page, what do you need? Well, my feeling is that the first thing that you need Elements of Style by Strunk and White. White being E.B. White, who wrote, I totally forget it all the time too, Charlotte's Web. Got it. Okay. So he wrote Charlotte's Web. This is a little tiny book. If you take English Composition 101 in college, they probably recommend that you buy this book. But if not, if you're going to be a writer, you should have Elements of Style by Strunk and White on your desk all the time. You should read it like the Bible. I'm not kidding. It's a small book. It's not a lot, but it's very dense. It's very packed with the rules of writing, of how to construct a really good sentence, how to use a semicolon. Do you even know how to use a semicolon? Do you know how many scripts I've read where they throw semicolons left and right as if they're free? All right, they are free, whatever. But the point is this. If you do that, if you just write just nilly-willy without any idea of how you're affecting the reader, of how you're communicating your idea to the reader, and that includes semicolons, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not respecting the medium. You're not respecting the words on the page, or the reader for that matter. So Strunk and White, Elements of Style, you need to have it. You need to read it. You need to understand it. It's very, very important. If not, all the good screenwriters, your work is just getting in their way. You're just stuffing your crap in front of readers, and they're getting more and more tired, that sort of thing. So please, I beg you, for my sake too. Anyway, so what else do you need? One of the other things I think that a young writer needs is, it's a small little book too, another small little book called Stephen King on Writing. Now, Stephen King is probably our most prolific writer in the United States today. Or maybe all in history. I'm not sure. Maybe not. But I know for right now, he is the most prolific writer going. And when he got into some accident, a pickup truck hit him or something like that, and he went to the hospital for a long time. And while he was recovering from the injuries, he wrote this little book called On Writing, Stephen King on Writing. And he talks a lot about his life and what he's doing, but he also talks about the art of writing, of why you should write, what you should know when you're writing, and it's also to a certain extent kind of a little motivational book, because once you finish that little book, you're raring to go. You want to write. It's really good. So Strunk and White, Elements of Style, and Stephen King on Writing. What are some of the other things you need? Well, I'm not going to get too much into specifics on the other stuff, but I will say this. You do need a screenwriting book. That is a book on how to write a screenplay. Now, there's all kinds of gurus, all kinds of things. You've got your Sid Field, who pretty much started the whole thing. You've got Michael Haig, who I started with. Dara Marks. I could go on, and if you Google it, I'm sure you're going to find tons and tons of books. And you need to get one, you need to read it, and you need to follow that. One of the other things that you're going to need is you're going to need a story structure. Now, I've read a lot of scripts where the writer was good. The words on the page, the way they described the scene, the way they described what the main actor was doing and what was happening was really good. And this guy, they really had it on the page. They really knew how to show you with just sounds and images what they were seeing. But they had no plot. They had no story. It wasn't going anywhere. Nothing was happening. And, as difficult it is to accept for some new writers, you must have structure in the story. And you must have certain things happening at certain times. Now, different gurus have different kinds of structure. It's all pretty much the same. I mean, it doesn't really stray off too far. You got your 3-act, you got your 4-act, and all kinds of things. I went with Michael Haig. That's where I started, but then I moved on to other things. Dara Marks has a nice little system. Save the Cat by, help me out here. Anybody? Save the Cat is written by, Save the Cat. You Google that, and whoever it is, great book. In fact, if I were to say for a new writer today, what's the biggest one now, I would say Save the Cat is the biggest story structure screenwriting book. So go ahead and take a look at those. And get some books and get them in front of you and start reading and be serious about being a screenwriter. My name is David Mulligan, and this is the Writer's Block on Virtual Channel Network. We'll see you next time.